Hello there! Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak. It's January 25th, 2021. Yeah, it's 25 days have gone by since the start of the new year. And thousands of Americans are dying, unfortunately. And the latest development today, January 25th, 2021, is COVID mutant strikes Virginia. Yes, the mutant COVID from United Kingdom has stricken Virginia. So one case of COVID-19 mutation variant from United Kingdom has arrived and was diagnosed in a patient who got tested. And this person has never been outside of United States in recent times, which means this person got it from someone else. I mean, this person did not come from England, so he or she did not bring it over here. It's the latest development, it just hit the newsstands today. Yeah, so we'll find more about it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Today is Monday. So hopefully we get more information about whether it's a male or female, how old he or she is. But the person got it from somebody in Virginia, meaning it is already here in Virginia in different places. My guess is it's probably a student at George Mason University, because George Mason University opened. I've been calling for Virginia colleges to close because you have COVID mutants from all over the world coming here. But unfortunately, George Mason University opened campus, which means there are English students from England coming here with COVID-19, mutant COVID. You know what I mean? And so what we're looking at here is when the colleges opened up, there are several colleges that open and have classes. Students from England come with their mutant COVID to Virginia, to their dormitories. Students from Brazil come with the Brazilian COVID mutants from Brazil to George Mason University. Students from South Africa come to George Mason University with their mutant COVID. Now we have all the mutant COVIDs that are deadly and evade COVID vaccines from all over these 3 countries. Obviously, there are more than 3 countries that have COVID mutants that haven't been discovered yet. But we know that these COVID mutants are deadly, spread faster, kill more. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, they kill more, and statistics prove it. More people are dying in England. So that's something that we can expect in America. More people dying, faster spread. Do you remember the day when the very first case of COVID-19 hit America? Do you remember? The one case started with somebody from the Marine base in Virginia after he had returned from a vacation in Egypt, infected in Egypt, brought it over here. And then there was only one person in Virginia who had COVID. And then it started spreading. And within matter of like a month, there were so many cases in Virginia. Virginia governor Northam had to issue an executive order to shut the whole state down. Virginia went into lockdown like a month after the first case, or like a little bit over a month after the first case. That's how fast it spread, and that was the original one. Now we have the more aggressive one, that spreads much faster. So you can imagine what's going to happen in the coming days, in coming weeks. And this person who has COVID mutant is in Northern Virginia. Yes, the first person to be discovered with COVID mutant is in Northern Virginia, probably a student at George Mason University or professor at George Mason University or staff at George Mason University or one of the family members of the students or staff or professors at George Mason University. Or maybe the students traveled and bought groceries. The student from England, they infected grocery cashier with COVID-19. You know, but origin most likely is from like George Mason University, like a British university student, British student who studies at George Mason. A lot of international students at George Mason. So it starts, you know, our spike to COVID-19 death that's coming in February from all these COVID mutants is coming. None of your vaccines are working now. If you got vaccinated at Virginia Hospital Center, it's useless. Got vaccinated at Innova Fairfax Hospital, it's useless. If you got inoculated at Virginia Innova Alexandria Hospital, it's useless now. If you are one of the teachers, 1,800 teachers in Arlington County Public Schools got vaccinated, your vaccine is useless now because COVID-19 variants are here. It's useless. You know, Fairfax Hospital stopped giving any vaccines now. You know why? Because they know the vaccines are useless. Yes, Innova Fairfax Hospital stopped giving the vaccines today. The first dose, they stopped it. You know why? Because they know it's useless. COVID mutant can overcome it. It's useless. They know that they have to wait for the Moderna vaccine where they're trying to make it resistant to mutant COVID. So Virginia, Fairfax Hospital is probably throwing out all the batch. If that's no longer useful, they're not going to work against the COVID mutants. They're going to wait for Moderna vaccines that are upgraded to be able to hit and block the COVID variants. That's probably what they're doing. Obviously, don't quote me on that. The fact is that they pulled the first dose vaccines today. Stop giving them. My guess is it's because of the new COVID mutant that has been discovered in Virginia. Because what are you going to do? You're going to give them vaccine and then a couple weeks later give them like another vaccine that's upgraded vaccine. You're going to be quick. You're going to keep doing that throughout the year. What do you think that's going to do to your body system? It's an mRNA vaccine. What do you think that's going to do to your DNA replication process? Yeah, Virginia is headed to massive death. Now, our state is certain to have over 100,000 deaths in 2021, maybe over 200,000 deaths. Because we know COVID mutant is here, and we know it can kill people who are vaccinated. Yeah, so your COVID vaccine is useless if you got it. I didn't get it because I knew this would happen. I warned you that this would happen, COVID mutations would happen, and it will evade the vaccine. I told you so, I mean, I knew it would happen, it happened, and it's now here. The COVID mutant is here, So expect over 100,000 Virginians to die in 2021, maybe more, 200,000. Now that all these colleges are open, all these British students are coming with their COVID mutants, it's going to spread all over Virginia. Yeah, that's why we're looking at in 2021, massive COVID mutant spread all over Virginia through the colleges. And then if the schools are open through the schools, massive death is coming for Virginia. Yeah, obviously it takes time for the COVID mutant to start spreading aggressively. It's spreading. I'll show you, it's spreading right now as we speak. All over America, all over Virginia. Because college is open, British students bring it, Or students who've been to Britain, over Christmas break, they bring it, spreading all over right now. Maybe even British embassy staff who live in Arlington, they may be spreading it. It's from Britain. I'm sure British embassy staff went back to Britain and back. Yeah, they probably brought it back with them. Yeah, it's a dangerous strain. Yeah, so today is the day that mutant COVID strikes Virginia. I mean, it probably came here earlier, but today we discovered it, right, in Northern Virginia. So Virginia 10th district, Virginia's 8th district, Virginia 11th district, we are in serious trouble. We're headed to massive death. How many of us die depends on whether school's open, whether you keep your children inside at home and protect them. That's what's going to determine how many people die. You'll see what I mean. It's only 25th day in the new year, and COVID-19 is going to kill thousands every day of 365 days a year. It is going to get exponentially worse. because mutant COVID is more dangerous, and according to Prime Minister Boris Johnson of England, more deadly, much more deadly. So we're going to see many more deaths and many more suffering. Hospitals filling up like there's no tomorrow. That's what we're looking at right now. Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah. So in the last 24 hours, we have 1,757 COVID-19 cases, deaths reported in USA. It's probably a fluke day. It's probably more like 4,000, or it's an off day. Either it's not being reported to the fullest number, or it's an off day. I mean, you can have an off day. So we'll soon have over 4,000 again, like tomorrow or day after tomorrow, without any problem. Yeah, I mean, things are bad. Things are bad. There's a reason why Joe Biden is shutting down the country from all these European states, because he has information we don't. He knows what's happening with COVID mutants. Yeah, we're gonna see the full anger of COVID mutants in weeks to come. Yeah, we'll see it in numbers of deaths. We may hit 10,000 deaths in no time because of that. Yeah, it started in Virginia, so Northern Virginia, it's here already. It's spreading right now all over Virginia, Northern Virginia, as we speak. Yeah, so it's it's really sad what's happening in America. And as you know, Virginia is the state where there was a capital, the Confederacy. It was in Richmond, Virginia. So as you see behind me, American flag and Confederate flag. As you know, I'm a history teacher. I'm a historian, but I also taught history at Wyatt Middle School in Greensville Public Schools in Virginia, which is like a rural area in Virginia. I remember having a talk with a friend, with my student of mine who's African American, and he said he has a family farm that's 3 acres long, 3 acres big. They grow family farm, they grow fruits and vegetables, and they sell it. And they eat fruits and vegetables that they grow in their farm. And he actually is a child preacher. I don't know if you know about child preachers. He's one of these child preachers who preaches as a child preacher in his church. It's a tradition that is very American. It goes back way back, centuries. You can read about it. But yeah, he was in my sixth grade class, social studies class. So I taught social studies to sixth graders, and one of the things we covered is the Civil War. So so I have this Confederate flag and American flag from the Civil War lesson that I taught my sixth graders at Wyatt Middle School. It's part of U.S. history, obviously. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, history is history, and you see history before me as well. As you know, I was the vice president of University of Pennsylvania Alumni Association of Washington, D.C. From 2019 to 2020, July 2019 to July 2020, 1 year term. One of the things I did was I took University of Pennsylvania alumni from Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland on a tour of National Geographic Museum in Washington, D.C. So you see me taking photo with the tour guide there. She's really nice. We bonded, and I thought she was really good tour guide. And you see the University of Pennsylvania sign there. I welcomed University of Pennsylvania alumni, gave them paraphernalia because they're alumni. I'm the vice president, so I welcomed them. Todd Horst, who's the president of the Penn Club of DC, couldn't make it for this exciting tour of the Queens of Egypt at George National Geographic Museum. So you see, Nefertiti was one of the exhibits there. She's one of the queens of Egypt. And as I said, the first COVID in Virginia came from a boat tour in Egypt, where an Egyptian guy had COVID, passed it on to several people. That included this U.S. Marine from Virginia, and the professor from, I guess, Georgetown University, who is a Maryland resident. So the first case of Maryland, first case of Virginia, they came from this tour boat in Egypt when an Egyptian guy who had a COVID spread it to all the tourists. So, Egypt is very significant. Obviously, this tour was like in 2019 in the summer. So at a time when none of us suspected that we're going to be in the predicament that we're in today, right? But Egypt has given us a lot, including, transmission of COVID from an Egyptian to Virginia and Maryland. So both Maryland and Virginia got COVID from Egypt infection. Obviously, the people who got infected were Americans, were on a tour. So vacationing outside of America can be dangerous too. You can bring COVID here, which that's what happened. But you also COVID variants. If you vacationed in England over Christmas, you might have brought, COVID variant over here from your vacation. Yeah, so Joe Biden shutting down England, that's a smart move. That's the way we block out COVID-19 from America. The mutant, which can evade COVID vaccine. Now that COVID mutant is in Northern Virginia, none of your vaccines are going to work. They're not going to work. So yeah, you got vaccinated a few weeks ago. Oh, great! But now you're going to get COVID with the mutant that can go through the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So your vaccine is useless. Yeah. For those of you who had an allergic reaction, you suffer, but it's useless because your COVID vaccines are useless now. Yeah, so expect more nurses at Virginia Hospital to get COVID-19. A lot of nurses got COVID-19 already in Virginia Hospital Center. University Fairfax Hospital, University Alexandria Hospital, MedStar Georgetown Hospital, MedStar Washington Hospital Center, National Children's Hospital, Sibley Hospital in Washington, D.C., Suburban Hospital in Maryland, Adventist Hospital in Maryland. Yeah, a lot of people already got COVID right now. All the nurses, a lot of nurses got COVID. I hope none of them die, but they're going to die. Some of them are going to die. That's 100% guaranteed. If you have like 100 nurses getting COVID from Virginia Hospital Center, at least 2 to 3 or 5 will die. That's not guaranteed, And if there are 100 nurses in Fairfax Hospital getting COVID, at least like 2 to 5 will die. That's not guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed. If you have 100 nurses in Alexandria Hospital getting COVID, at least 2 to 5 will die. That's like 100% guaranteed. If there are 100 nurses getting COVID-19 in MedStar Georgetown Hospital, at least 2 to 5 will die. That's like absolutely guaranteed. If there are 100 nurses in Children's National Hospital getting COVID, at least 2 to 5 will die. That's like absolutely guaranteed. And for some nurses, like they're going to take their husband to death with them. They're going to take their children to the next world. When we talk about Egypt, we talk about pyramids, right? And in the pyramids, you have dead people buried, right? So, Egypt is kind of related with death, yeah, death, when you think of Egypt, you think about the pyramids, which are basically tombs, right? Tombs of the kings and the queens. Death is coming for you in Virginia. Death is coming for you in Maryland. Death is coming for you in DC. As you know, if there are COVID-19 mutants in Virginia, Northern Virginia, there's going to be COVID-19 mutants in Washington, D.C. There will be COVID mutants in Maryland. That's not guaranteed. Absolutely 100% guaranteed. So as you listen to your elevator music, it's just a matter of time before it hits your neighborhood. Yeah, that's what the elevator music shows us. Yeah. Number one, COVID-19 cases in Middle East. Not Middle East. Not Middle East. It's Latin America. Typo. Latin America. Yeah, Latin America is Brazil with 200 17,664 deaths. It's very sad, right? There's like no end in sight for Brazil's death. Colombia has 51,747. I mean, geez, I remember when Colombia had less than 1,000 deaths. Look how much it's grown, you know? And Argentina has 47,034 COVID-19 deaths. I mean, geez, when did Argentina get so bad? It wasn't even in the top 5 list for cases. So suddenly, like, getting one of the top deaths in Latin America. Mexico has 150,273 deaths. Yeah, they're dying at 8% right now. Peru has 39,608 deaths. Look at the all of death in top 5 in Latin America. We're calling Latin America continent of death. Look at that. Let's just add it up. Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina together has over 300,000 deaths. You add Mexico, it's like 450,000 deaths. You add Peru, it's like 500,000 deaths. There are 1 million deaths in the top 5 countries in Latin America. Top 5 countries have 500,000 deaths. Can you imagine that? And we're not even counting other Latin American countries like Venezuela and other Chile and other countries. We're not even counting them. Just the top 5 Latin American countries has 500,000 people have died already. And this number is going to triple or quadruple in the next few months. Yeah, in year 2021, you got to expect millions and millions of Hispanic deaths in Latin American countries. It's the continent of death, and millions are going to die in Latin America. Very sad. Yeah, another elevator music kind of reminds us this is a waiting game. You wait, it's going to happen. Yeah, that's what elevator music tells us. COVID mutant hits Northern Virginia. Yes, COVID mutant has hit Northern Virginia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so first article, Virginia reports its first case of more contagious COVID-19 variant. Let's not forget, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said it's more deadly. Let's not forget that here. And this article by CBS 6 News states the first case of the COVID-19 variant called B117. Geez, these British people like numbers, right? 007, 007, James Bond, 007, COVID-19 variant B117, B117 has been identified in Virginia. Yes, it's been identified. But there's far more out there spreading like wildfire right now in your neighborhood. Maybe in your backyard, maybe in your apartment building. That's happening. It's sad because a lot of people are going to die. Hopefully it's not your apartment building, because a lot of people in your apartment building will die from this COVID. The Virginia Department of Health and Department of General Services Division of Consolidated Laboratory Services, DCLS, announced that the first case of the B117 variant that was identified, and there are far more than one case, was identified in a sample from a resident of Northern Virginia. Yeah, we're in Northern Virginia, Virginia's 8th District, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, Fairfax County. We are in Northern Virginia. We are at the epicenter of COVID-19 death. We're going to have a lot of COVID-19 people die in 2021, especially if schools open. You're looking at death after death after death of your neighborhoods. You're going to see whole families die in Arlington County, like father, mother, 3 children. They're all going to die from COVID-19. You're going to see that. That's a sad thing. That's why I worked 3 months in summer of 2020 to close down all the schools, public schools, Arlington County Public School, Alexandria City Public School, Fairfax County Public Schools, and Falls Church Public Schools for public school districts. I worked hard to close them down, and I succeeded to save your life and to save your children's lives. So you owe me. You know you owe me. There are so many people who didn't die because of what I did for you. Because you look at states like Pennsylvania where they open schools, look at the death. I mean, they have like hundreds of deaths every day. Yeah, like in December, in January. So you know you owe me. You know, I worked to close your schools down, 4 of the school districts. Yeah, because I knew this would happen. All the death would happen, which happened in Pennsylvania. Um, yeah, it's bad. Um, these DCLS said they have informed the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention of the variant case. Virus changes all the time. Yeah, that's reassuring for you who got vaccinated. Your vaccines are useless when they when they mutate aggressively. Yeah, that's why I didn't get the vaccine because it's pointless. I'm injecting myself with a vaccine that may compromise my immune system, and it's not even going to block out anything. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't get it, the COVID vaccine. I will not get it. I mean, I'll wait. Like, well, it's useless now. The scientific proof that COVID variants go through the vaccine, so there's no point getting the vaccines that are out there now. Virus changes all the time, and we expect to see new strains as disease spreads. I mean, scientists expect to see COVID mutants in Virginia, like that's homegrown, that will evade your vaccines. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Scientists are expecting it. They're like looking for it. It's just a matter of time. It's like elevator music, you know, matter of time. That we have our own COVID mutant that can escape all the vaccines in Virginia. Yeah, that's just a matter of time. I mean, scientists are expecting it. You know, virus changes all the time. And we expect to see new strain as disease spreads. Yeah, we just expect it. Said State Health Commissioner M. Norman Oliver, MD, MA. As of January 22nd, nearly 200 cases of the B117 variant have been detected in 23 states. Yeah, it's making its way to 50 states. Kind of like when first COVID-19 came, it was in a few states, then it was in 23 states, and now it's in 50 states. So that's what the variants are doing, the same kind of pattern. So you should expect minimum 3 million Americans to die in 2021, but more like 30 million. Yeah, more like 30 million. If schools open like Joe Biden wants to do, open schools, you can expect like 30 million people to die in America in 2021. You know, what can I say? You know, I told you this would be happening. Mutants will come and vaccines will be useless. You know, I know Joe Biden likes to, you know, use the vaccine as a clutch or a crutch. But I mean, mutant COVIDs can overcome it. What do you think? Moderna is working on upgrading their vaccine because they know it doesn't work. Um, you know, read about how some people are trying to survive in the midst of all this. Double masking, how 2 masks block COVID-19 coronavirus better than one, by Bruce Y. Lee. That's not, he's probably not related to Bruce Lee. You know, Bruce Lee, I can't do his woo, you know, you gotta see Bruce Lee movies. He makes these sounds. It's not like woo, I don't know. I don't know how he makes those sounds, but it's like woo, 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 woo. Yeah, watch one of the Bruce Lee movies. But this is not that Bruce Lee, it's Bruce Y. Lee. It's like George Bush. It's not that George Bush. It's George W. Bush. You know what I'm saying? And it's in Forbes magazine. And in this article, it says, in a commentary in the journalist man, Monica Gandhi, MD, MPH. MPH is Master of Public Health. And Lindsay C. Marr, PhD, recommended wearing at least a high quality surgical mask or a fabric mask of at least 2 layers with high thread count. More threads you have, more you can block out. That's the idea. But they added that wearing a cloth mask tightly on top of a surgical mask could provide even more protection. Anthony Fauci, MD, favors double masking too. As you can see, this segment from the Today Show, Fauci said, if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense that it would likely be more effective. Yeah, now he's resorting to common sense, you know. But sometimes, you know, common sense makes more sense than science. Obviously, science supports wearing a mask. Science supports quarantining. Science shows socially isolating. Science shows that you should not gather together in a schoolroom when there's mutant COVID in Northern Virginia. You see what I'm saying? Or in your neck of the woods. But people are just kicking out science and like meeting in schools, and teachers are dying, students are dying, students are infecting their parents. I mean, this is what's happening right now in all over America. Are you surprised why thousands of people die with Joe Biden as our president who wants to open up schools? Of course, thousands will die and continue to die. That's what's going to continue to happen. And it's going to happen 365 days a year. Yeah, 365 days a year, we're going to have thousands of deaths. In the summer, we may have tens of thousands of deaths if schools open and COVID mutant become dominant in March, like everybody say it's going to do. We could have tens of thousands of deaths in the summer. We're headed there. Yeah. It's bad. It's only getting worse. There is no end in sight. Don't believe a politician when they say, oh, it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. It's not going to get better. It's not. Because none of the vaccines are going to work now. Because COVID mutants are spreading. It's going to be dominant in March. And as you know, as we read in the first article, every state will have their own homegrown COVID mutant that can evade vaccine. And all 50 states, mutants are going to mix when people go to school and travel. Yeah, we may have to shut down the states, block the states so no one can enter the state, because we can't have all these mutants from all 50 states spreading everywhere. You know, it's just too dangerous. Who knows what happens when like 2 mutant COVIDs start to mingle and mix? Who knows what kind of super COVID offspring there will beget? Third article, Moderna announces vaccine upgrade to protect against emerging variants. Dennis Chow. Time for a Chow. Yeah, I love these Asian names, you know. Chow Mein. My name is Kim, Heerak Christian Kim, right? Heerak, I rock, you rock, we all rock with Heerak. Asian names are so catchy, you know, you can make like rap song out of it. Yeah, as you know, I'm from South Korea, I'm Asian. Yeah, Heerak, vote for Heerak on August 8, 2022. As you know, I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County, which I like to now call the epicenter of mutant COVID from UK. It's tragic, but yeah, that's where we are. But as you know, I work hard to save your life and your children's life. You know, I love you guys. I love you guys. I send you virtual hug. Yeah, so the third article, Moderna announces vaccine upgrades. Yeah, I mean, they have to upgrade it because their former one doesn't work anymore. It's like a computer. I mean, when there's an upgrade, do you use the one that is now no longer like up to date? Why would you want to do that? I mean, you want to use like a virus protection that's not up to date? What happens to your computer if you use a virus protection that's not up to date? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with vaccines, you know? I mean, if Moderna is upgrading, that's because the current version doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, geez, we all understand that we're all Americans. Moderna announces vaccines, right? Sad. Tears are coming in my eyes because I know how many Americans would die because of this. Millions. Every one of you got vaccinated. It's useless. You know how sad it is? A lot of my friends got vaccinated. But because of this COVID mutant, it's now useless. Um, anyway, Moderna announces vaccine upgrade to protect against emerging variants. Oh, how sad. How sad. Because this means none of your vaccines are useful anymore because you need an upgrade. You're not a computer. You're not hardware. You're flesh and bone. Who knows what will happen to your body when you get another vaccine in such a short period of time? Yeah, sad. It's really sad. You know, because most of you already got the 2 doses, right? If you're nurses, well, you have to get like 2 new doses now. Jeez, if you want to keep getting the vaccine. I mean, I just refuse to get the vaccine because it's global pandemic. I mean, geez, it's going to mutate, and the vaccines are not going to be useful anymore. It's really sad. I feel really sad for my friends who got vaccinated. Um, because they really believed in this stuff, you know. Moderna is tweaking its corona vaccine to make it more effective against emerging variants of the virus. Um, the company announced, oh, how sad, how sad. Some people actually believe in that stuff, you know. Although scientifically, you know, mutations make it obsolete. It's that's science, but people want to believe what they want to believe, you know. The company announced Monday the upgrades will be designed to better protect against different strains and could be used as a booster shot. The announcement comes as scientists around the world scramble. They're actually scrambling. It's really sad. Yeah, really sad. Scramble to get ahead of constantly mutating virus. They're scrambling because they can't get ahead of it. You know what I'm saying? They can't get ahead of it. And massive people are going to die. I'm predicting 100 million. I'm predicting that 100 million people in the world will die in 2021 from COVID-19. Scientists cannot scramble faster than the mutations. They're human beings. It's like, how are you going to travel faster than the falling star, traveling at the speed of light? You know, how are you going to do that? It's impossible. How are you going to travel faster than the speed of light? You can't. So the scientists are trying to travel faster than the speed of light. They're not going to succeed. It's sad. I wish they could succeed, but they're not. It's really sad. Um, Constantly trying to mutate, you know, uh, trying to get ahead of constantly mutating virus that has already killed more than 2 million people worldwide. So sad. 2 million people died. But it's going to get worse. Yeah, it's going to get worse. Um, you have to watch out for your family and your children's family. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about other people because you and your children are facing COVID-19 death in 2021. Um, I hope that you'll be well and that your children will be well. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.